Hello, this is Dr. Janet Hall. My intention in talking to you today is about how do you know the difference between when you're anxious and when you're angry. Some people know this intuitively. Some people smoke because the act of smoking suppresses anger. Some people drink alcohol because the act of drinking alcohol suppresses fear and anxiety. Now, essentially, the two things that anxiety reflects are fear of being physically hurt or killed, or encountering psychological harm in the form of shame. But the world can't be completely safe and perfect. None of us can completely avoid criticism or mistakes. Every now and then, all of us go through days in which we become excessively preoccupied about being negatively evaluated or judged, rejected, failing, making mistakes, or about losing the people that we love. But eventually, rationally, we have to acknowledge that we're not perfect, that it is human to make mistakes, and there are many parts of the future, as well as the present, that we can't control. Anxiety doesn't overwhelm most people, but some people with anxious personalities are overreactive to threatening stimuli and are less able to tolerate the normal uncertainties about the future and imperfection, just in case they're dangerous. People with anxious personalities tend to have a general working hypothesis which guides their lives along the lines of, the world is a very dangerous place and I have to always be on my guard to protect myself, both physically and psychologically. Anxious people have an oversensitive alarm system which can create problems for them and cause distress to others. We can use the term flooders to describe people with this predisposition, because their bodies are frequently flooded with the fear hormones, the main two being adrenaline and cortisol. So people who are subject to being flooded with fear hormones are often scanning their situation for potential threat. It's as if they've got alarm bells which ring at any signs of danger. But their fear alarm is overly sensitive and goes off too quickly and too often. This can cause themselves significant distress and reduce their self-esteem if they don't understand, accept and manage their anxiety. They could be difficult in one or more of these ways. They might home in on every potential problem, have angry outbursts which hurt others and sometimes damage relationships, be perfectionists and stress others and themselves by their unrealistic standards, procrastinate about decisions and actions in case they make a mistake, sometimes respond hypersensitively and cause conflict by their overreactions, be over-controlling as they try to make sure that nothing goes wrong, be overly dependent on others, and then restrict those people and exhaust their patience, and be rigidly controlled by routine and annoy others by their flexibility. You know, you can't always pick the anxious, angry people. Although flooders are usually more emotional than other people, they don't always show this in the way you might expect. They can be perfectly calm and capable in those areas where they're highly skilled, or the situation is clear-cut, or they feel competent or have control. You see, they're not anxious when they don't perceive any danger, because things are under their control. But chronic anxiety causes some people not to cope with events and attacks their confidence. They lose their self-esteem. So here's some strategies for managing your own anxiety-based behaviour. 1. Become more aware of the fear sensations in your body so that you understand the process and recognise when you have been mildly flooded by adrenaline. Then say, I'm having an anxiety reaction, so I must not overreact. Remind yourself that your biology is different from other people's. It's not
Sample complete. Ready to continue?